Hi grade 2s, I hope you're all having a fantastic morning. Today, boys and girls, we are going to be learning to write the orientation and the beginning of a literary retell, okay? Now you might remember this poster from last week, okay? This poster helps us to understand the order that we write our literary retell in, all right? We start with our orientation. That's where we include information about the setting and the characters. Then we write about the events, okay? The beginning, the middle, the end. Today, we're just writing the orientation and the beginning, okay? I'll pop that up here, hopefully you can see it. Yep. Okay, so that'll be up there so that we can look back at it to make sure we are writing about the events in the right order. It is so important to write our literary retell in the right order, okay? We don't want to jumble the events up. All right, let's get started. Now, when we write a literary retell, of course, the very first thing we need to do is write the title of the text, which we know is Little Red Riding Hood. Okay. Little Red Riding Hood. Okay. Now let's have a look to make sure that we are going to start with the right thing. We're now going to write our orientation, which is where we include information about the setting and the characters. Today, we're going to do that together. All right. Okay. Now, we want to make sure that we start our sentence, our first sentence in our orientation with, in the story, and then we can continue from there. So we're going to start with those words, in, and I'm starting with a capital letter because it's the start of a sentence. In the story. Now I could write in the story Little Red Riding Hood, but I've already got the title up here, so we know we're talking about Little Red Riding Hood. So I'm going to continue and say, in the story, the characters are have a think about who they are. Little Red Riding, that's an ing word. Little Red Riding Hood. Who else are the characters? We've got Little Red Riding Hood. Let's have a look at our plan. Remember, that's what it's there for. We had the wolf, Little Red Riding Hood. Now, I could write the wolf, or I could use adjectives to make my writing more interesting. So I might write the big bad wolf, and I've got capital letters for the names of characters. In the story, the characters are Little Red Riding Hood, the big bad wolf. I could write the grandmother, or I could use a describing word. I might say the old gran, mum, and the woodsman. Okay. And I'm going to make sure I end my sentence with a full stop. I'm just going to go here and change that G to an uppercase G. Okay? All right, let's quickly reread what we've got here. In the story, the characters are Little Red Riding Hood, the big bad wolf, the old gran, mum, and the woodsman. Yep, if I look at my plan, I can see I have included all of those characters. It's now time to move on to the setting in the orientation, okay? So I would start that sentence with, the story is set in let's have a look at our plan and make sure I'm including all the information I need. Okay, the story is set in the woods and at Gran's house. Now, before I continue today, I want quickly have a think about how I can make this writing better, okay? Now, we know how important it is to use adjectives to make our writing more interesting. So if I have a look at this sentence, the story is set in the woods and at Gran's house. I can describe the woods. Instead of just saying the woods, I might describe them as the scary woods, okay? You might think of a different word. Now it's time to move on to the beginning. We are about to write about the events, okay? Now, I'm going to use a different coloured texter for that so that we know that the beginning is different to our orientation. Now, I'm going to leave a space here so I can show that I'm using paragraphs, okay? And I'm going to start with a capital letter, okay, because it's the start of a sentence. And I'm going to start that sentence with in the beginning of the story. And I'm going to stop there, okay? I'm now going to let you go off now and start writing your literary retell. I'm not going to write anything else because I want to give you a chance to come up with your own ideas, okay? Think about what happened in the middle. Look back at your plan. That's what it's there for. Think about what happened in the beginning. Your plan is there to help you. Remember, at the beginning, Little Red Riding Hood was going to visit Gran because she was sick and bring her food. Okay? She bumped into a wolf. She started talking to a wolf. Okay? Have a think about what happened in the beginning, and you need to write about those events in the most interesting sentences you can. Okay? Don't forget your neatest writing, to use the dotted thirds correctly. Don't forget your capital letters and full stops. And I know you are all going to give me 5-star work. Okay, boys and girls? Don't forget to send your work through to me. Bye, everybody.